All right. Todd, you let us know when the record button is pressed, and we'll get started.
We already started.
Oh, I know. Todd, it's a fun running joke.
I know.
Hello, everybody. This is Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.
Duo.
And you know what, Todd? We are legal to drive today because we are on episode 16.
Oh, 16 is the legal age in Washington?
I think so. That's when I got my license.
I got mine later.
But welcome everybody. We are coming to you from the historic Renton Civic Theatre in beautiful, beautiful downtown Renton, Washington. And it's actually turned out to be kind of a nice afternoon. Yeah. It's got some sunshine out there and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we hope you guys tuned in this past Sunday on the Facebook Lives to watch the big mashup show with Not About You, Our Town, and Dunce Cap Games DCG TV episode. And if you haven't, it's available. It's available on Spotify's and it's available on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
So check it out. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with Jamal and Kyle. And next time we need the Mike and the Marianne.
Yes.
And then we got a full Gilligan's Island, right?
Maybe we'll get everybody together when Jamal comes back in July.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I enjoyed that. And that was from the lobby, which we've never done before.
Yeah,
of this historic theater.
And we didn't have any interruptions, which was nice. I didn't think
that was my biggest worry.
Yeah, I know. I could tell. I mean,
I'm like, what? There's like 5 entrances to this room.
It's like playing Call of Duty Black Ops, and you're like in an area that has like 4 or 5 entrances, and you can't
cover them all.
You can't camp in that spot. You have to keep moving.
Keep it moving, everybody. Well, tonight's safe word, Todd, is Jiffy Lube. So if anybody has a moment that they need to step out and just, shout out Jiffy Lube, and we're good to go. All right. Well, today we're going to do some headlines, Todd.
Headlines.
Because there's a lot going on.
I keep forgetting to add sounds to the board. I think we should have like a news kind of ticker type thing.
I have a kind of a cool one I use if you're a members only. On our members only section, it's News of the World. It's a little mini cast I do every Saturday. I go through some funny news stories from around the world and share them with everybody in about 10 minutes. About 10-minute little deal, and they're fun news stories, and I comment a little bit. But I have a pretty cool little one on that I can send to you.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, just throw it on the Google Drive or whatever.
Yeah. Actually, a ticker might be more fun though, right?
Just kind of like ba 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 ba, kind of like
that's
intro.
Kind of what I got. Yeah.
Kind of, like breaking news, kind of like intro kind of thing, with a ticker tape sound, and then like just kind of like the horn section,
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. But anything
That'd
really
be great, yeah.
But what were we saying?
Well, it's headlines.
Headlines.
We don't have a theme show this week. I think next week we're doing History's Mysteries or Mysteries of History or something like that, which should be fun. So tune in next week. But this week we're going to talk some headlines. And what's a bigger headline this week than the ex-president himself, Donald Trump?
The tangerine in charge. Yeah. He got himself arrested, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he got arraigned. And I think they call it arrested because he turned himself into the authorities, right? In New York, it was the New York State District Attorney or City of New York District Attorney,
right?
Because a grand jury has charged him with something like 34 counts of felony counts of falsifying business records, right?
Oh wow!
Yeah. So he's going to have to answer to that. But he showed up in court. I watched the live because it was kind of historical. First president in history to ever be indicted for a crime. And he had to get fingerprinted and probably mugshotted and all that stuff. I don't know if it's mugshotted or mugshot, but
the only thing that I saw that was him walking into the courthouse, and then the guard who opened the door didn't keep the door open for him.
I saw that, and he had to open the door, and it wouldn't have been a big deal when like anybody else going through the door, but he actually, like, you could see his head, like, why didn't somebody open the door? It was like a quick
like
millisecond reaction.
I'm an important person. You're supposed to hold the door for me.
Yeah.
And the guy in front of him just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, you have arms and hands. You can grab the door yourself.
They just weren't even paying attention to the felon behind them, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So he showed up in court. I think he said a total of 19 words. No cameras in the court, no video cameras in the court. I think they were allowed to take some pictures before the proceedings started with him sitting, and he looked very, very sullen sitting at the defendant's table with his attorneys. He had like 4 attorneys there. But just, man, this is like... it's either a long time coming. I know some people will say that that the opposing political party is pouring on and they're just doing this to make him look bad. And of course, he'll say it's a political witch hunt because that's what he says about everything, right?
Like, it's not possible to hate me this much.
And, that's a little bit of my worry, too, is that they do pile on because he's got like 5 other court cases that are happening, right, or investigations that are happening right now. And it does kind of feel like, maybe we are pouring on, people are pouring on a little too much. But the problem is that if he really committed these crimes, then he needs to be held accountable, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's above the law, especially the president. He works for us. He did work for us. And if he deserves to go to jail, if he deserves to pay a fine, if he deserves to do community service.
Did you hear the theme music he got for yesterday? You got to hear this. Hold on, folks. That's not the right one. Hold on. I thought that was the right one.
That sounded a little too ethnic for Trump.
No, it's the same. It's the right musician, but it's the wrong song. I thought I had it favorited. Hold on. I'll let you get back to what you were saying.
No, I know that is this when he went down and did his little speech at Mar-a-Lago afterwards? Did he come out to this or?
No, this is somebody made this and put it to like footage of him coming out of the court.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and he didn't engage reporters or anything. He did give like a wave or a fists up when he got there. Is this it?
You got a felony. You got a felony. Man, your road looks tough ahead, gonna be miles and miles away from your bed. The judge's words repeating in your head, boy,
you've got a felony.
I don't know how far Rikers Island is from Trump Tower, but I don't know if it's miles and miles from his bed.
I saw that clip, and the original clip doesn't have pictures of Trump, but the one I saw had pictures of Trump. I was like, okay, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. My favorite meme from this whole thing was a picture of Melania Trump in front of a computer, and she was typing in Pete Davidson's contact info, which I thought was hilarious. Moving on.
For those who are wondering who did that, is username Rolling Blue on social medias. You'll find his video. And
that was Randy... what's the original guy that wrote...
that was the Toy Story song.
Right,
yeah,
but it was Randy...
I watched you walk all the way over from center stage past the window.
Yeah, that's right. We are in a working theater, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And they are practicing for an upcoming show called Thumbs, which I think starts next week. So we might be back on the stage pretty soon. Maybe not next week, maybe the week after. I can't even count. Can't wait. I know. It'd be nice. But yeah, working theater. Go to RentonCivicTheatre.org to check out what's going on, and if you feel the need and feel the generosity, donate to their new lighting system, which they have a fundraiser going on right now.
Tell them we sent you.
And Todd, I don't think I mentioned this, but Our Town Podcast did donate $100 to the lighting here. So look at us, we're so friggin' generous.
Awesome sauce.
They love us here. Absolutely love us.
Bill seems to not like me, but I think it's more of a like roasting kind of thing than anything else. We roast the ones we love.
He tries to do that to me too. I don't know. Bill's a funny guy. Bill, if you're listening, we like you.
Yeah. I haven't been bothered by it, so
yeah.
Always in a
my thing with Bill goes back to when I was on the board of directors and I was the president of the board here, and Bill and I not really clashed heads, but didn't see eye to eye on everything. So, but it's all good now because I'm no longer on the board. I got nothing. Let's get back to Trump world, man. So he got his indictment settled. I mean, now it's going to the court cases. They're talking like a 2024, like early 2024 or spring of 2024. I think Trump wants spring of 2024, and the prosecutors want like January of 2024 for the court case to actually start.
Okay.
Like, holy crap, that's, 9 months away?
Why are we waiting so far out?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of preliminary. There's going to be a lot of motions to dismiss, and they're going to have to
giving
go
him
through.
an opportunity to figure out how to get out of it.
Well, Trump wants to get to the point where he's knee deep in the presidential election. He wants to be the guy that's.
I thought you were going to say something else entirely. Knee deep in grabbing him by the
Yeah, knee deep in Russian soil because he's escaped the country. But he's got like 4 or 5 other cases against him going on right now, and I don't even know if I know them all. I know he's got the Georgia grand jury. I've read reports that they're close to voting on indicting him, and this goes back to right after the election when he called the Georgia Secretary of State and asked them for more votes.
Find those other votes.
Find the votes.
Find the votes that I know are there.
They're in a file somewhere. They're in a manila envelope somewhere around
in
here.
The computer.
Yeah, somebody threw them away. I don't know. Just give me 11,200 something votes.
It's like that scene from Zoolander. Like they're in the computer, and he starts smacking the iMac.
Start shaking it. How do I get it out? But yeah, he's got that going on. That is looking more and more perilous because I've heard reports that there's been multiple phone calls, not just one phone call where he was doing that. And they did have like the grand jury foreperson come out and talk about it, which I wish she hadn't because it looks bad.
Did he seriously show classified documents to like people that came to his Mar-a-Lago?
That's a whole nother case. That is the case of the documents that he had at Mar-a-Lago. And the reports are, yes, he was showing people classified documents.
Look what I have here.
Check it out, man.
This is classified documents that only the president's supposed to be able to see. I'm showing it to you.
Bigly important.
I have tiny hands, and
but that's in the hands of a special prosecutor that the AG Merrick Garland has appointed to look into that and the January 6th insurrection. So that's like the third and fourth thing that we're talking about, right? So apparently, what's coming out, and believe the reports, don't believe the reports, be QAnon, whatever you want to do. But apparently, these things were shipped to his home in Mar-a-Lago, put in a storage room, and then when the national security folks and the National Archives were asking for this stuff back, he sent somebody down to move these documents to another location, apparently so he could sift through them and keep what he wanted, and then he had the person put the boxes back and only turned over a certain amount to the National Archives.
Yeah, well,
and then they threatened the subpoena, they threatened the quote unquote raid, and he still didn't give it back. So just absolutely ridiculous. And then they try to compare it to what Joe Biden and Mike Pence did. Well, once they learned, yes, they were bad for keeping those documents that they weren't supposed to. But once they found out that they had them, they gave them right back. As soon as the government said, "Hey, you got to give us those documents and search for more and make sure there's nothing else," they gave them back. Trump tried to conceal it and tried to keep them.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me with everything we've seen in the news, and he's a classic narcissist. I mean, he thinks that the world revolves around him and that he can do no wrong. And he even said it on one of the debates 5-6 years ago, where he could pull a gun out and shoot people, and they still would vote for him. So
he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. And
that's what it was. Yeah.
He'd be scot-free. Well, speaking of New York, the other two cases that he has there, one is a civil rape case that he has against, and I think her name is Jean Carroll. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but she accuses Trump of raping her in the mid-90s. Says she kept the dress, like a Monica Lewinsky thing, has his DNA on it, accused him of rape. But the statute of limitations had passed so that the government couldn't charge him for rape. But because she wrote about it in a memoir, he came out while president and called her crazy and nuts and saying it never happened. So she's suing him for defamation because of this. He's trying to say because he was president, he's got some kind of implied immunity against whatever he said. Yeah. But she's in court right now, and I don't know where that case is going to go, but I mean, pile on, right?
Yeah.
Also in New York, the state attorney general is suing his company and I think him and his kids personally for falsifying business documents and committing fraud because he would inflate the value of his properties when he went to go get a loan,
right?
But deflate them when it came time to pay taxes, right?
Man.
So yeah,
you know that if me or you would have done something like that, we would definitely be going to prison.
Dude, if not prison, we'd be at least like, friggin' paying fines up the kazoo, right? But yeah, most likely we'd be in prison.
If we weren't able to pay the fines, we would end up in jail.
Yeah. So I've got no felonies on my record, at least nothing that anybody can prove. So I'd be a first-time offender.
I've never been arrested for anything. Yeah. I think the worst thing I've ever had as far as legal trouble goes is a traffic violation.
Yeah.
Speeding ticket or fender bender kind of thing.
Yeah, I shot a guy with a BB gun when I was 13 and spent about...
You shot a man in Reno just to watch him die?
No. I'm not that much of a psycho. It was friggin' Texas. I shot a guy with a BB gun, 13. I spent 3 hours in the 12th Avenue precinct there in downtown Seattle and was like, I am never, ever coming back here again. Scared straight. Yep. And I've been in a few prisons, and they're not fun places. I've done work in prisons and jails, and man, it's like I don't want to go back.
I think the closest thing to me being in jail for anything is when I was in Scouts back in like 1980, 1981, back when the Renton Police Department was in that building next to the library.
Oh yeah,
we got to play. They put the 7 or 8 of us in the padded room and closed the door. And we were like, like I said, 8 or 9 years old. And so basically, what do like 5 or 6 8-year-olds do in a padded room?
Bounce off the walls.
It's literally bouncing off the walls. I mean, it was like watching WWE or whatever.
Did you say this was a scared straight kind of a thing?
No, it was just we were getting a tour. A tour. And
okay.
They put us in the padded room for, I think, maybe 5 minutes.
That's fun.
We're giggling like crazy and bouncing off the walls.
They didn't have an ex-con come in and start yelling at you.
No, we weren't bad kids. We were good kids.
Okay, good.
We were Cub Scouts. I mean,
oh, okay.
Like 8, 9, 10 years old. Yeah. We were not like... I was never the kid who had to be scared straight, Yeah. I knew a lot of those kids in school though, but I was never one of those kids.
Nice. I can't imagine a young Todd being too much of a troublemaker.
I mean, I was a smart ass, but that was the worst of it, I think.
I have an older brother and had an older brother that was a bit of a troublemaker. I won't go into too many details because there might still be some outstanding statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations are probably
past, but man,
way past, yeah.
He would get in so much trouble, and usually as the younger brother, I was kind of tailing along. So, and I probably got him in trouble a couple times, so I apologize for that. But we weren't the best kids in the neighborhood, and we were kind of the kids that people knew. So if there was something bad that happened in the neighborhood, it'd be like, well, have you checked with the Bressler boys?
I think the closest thing to stuff like that is I think probably senior year of high school. A friend of mine had some old-timey fire extinguishers, which were just brass canisters.
Did you have to pump them? Or?
You had to use like a compressor or a bike pump to compress them so you could squirt water out of them.
Yeah.
Well, me and the owner of these two things thought it was a good idea to climb the tree next to the road and spray cars as they drove by. The first car we sprayed was the manager of the complex. He came in. He knew exactly who did it because by the time he pulled in and parked his car, we were already back in our apartments. He came knocking on my door like 10 minutes later. I know it was you and Mike. I'm like, no. I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, well, I know it was you. I'm going to talk to your mom when she gets home. I was like, we didn't know it was going to hurt anybody. You just water. Jesus.
That's the kid thing, right? Deny.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I remember right before the 4th of July one time, my friend and my brother and I lit off. So just like all afternoon, we were just lighting off fireworks like crazy, throwing firecrackers at each other, bottle rocket wars, blowing off M80s, the whole thing. And finally, probably after 2 or 3 hours of this, 2 cop cars pulled up, one from each direction, pulled up right in front of the house. And we're just standing there like, oh shit, right? And we kind of like tossed the lighters and the matches and stuff.
Right.
And the cops get out and they walk up and they're like, so, been lighting off some fireworks. No, not us. And of course, our entire front yard and the street out front
covered
was
with
just
debris.
littered with
debris.
firecracker paper.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, not us. And then luckily my mom came home right then. She's like, oh, they're in trouble. Just wait till their dad gets home. And that was it. The cops left and told my mom to knock it off, have us knock it off and stuff. So we got away with it, but it was like that. The cops show up and your heart just... But anyway, not the first and not the last time the cops were called. I'll just say that.
I don't think I've ever had the cops show up at my house for anything I did. So I was a smart ass and I did things that, probably would get somebody in trouble, but I was smart enough to never be around when people showed up. I remember one time me and the same friends, we decided it was going to be a fun idea to like steal pumpkins on Halloween night.
Oh.
And so I grabbed one, and as soon as I grabbed one, a car was driving down the street. So the first thing I did is, shit, and I threw the pumpkin straight up in the air and ran.
Did it hit the car?
It did not hit the car, but it landed next to the car. And the guy got out of his car and started chasing us down the street.
Oh, Todd.
Yeah.
That's the worst, too. I love Halloween, so don't fuck with people's jack-o'-lanterns.
Pumpkin bowling, man.
Well, with this Trump indictment, the thought process is that yes, he could face, I think, up to 100 years in prison or something like that if they stack all the charges. Right. But he does not, amazingly, have a criminal record. He's got no priors, nothing like that. So most likely it would be like a suspended sentence or a fine and community service or something like that. It doesn't feel like he would do much jail time, but this is just the first of, like we listed, I think 5 or 6 there that he's facing. So, and there's worse ones. I think the special counsel investigation into the documents in the January 6th is probably the worst for him. But, the civil case in New York could bring hundreds of millions of dollars in fines, which his supporters will have to pay for him. And they do.
They totally will, because the amount of like people complaining about this happening to him, like, that's not fair. You shouldn't be doing it. He was our greatest president ever. I don't know why I turned into Napoleon Dynamite there, but yeah, it just, I don't know. Every time I see like a reel or a TikTok where people are just like going on a tangent about how great of a president he is, I just roll my eyes. Yeah. And just go, whatever, and just scroll on to the next video.
Yeah. Definitely, drink the Kool-Aid, some of these people. Yeah. And another funny thing is that these folks, Trump threw out the command to his loyal followers to show up and commit, civil disobedience in the streets, basically riot, like he did with January 6th. Take it back.
That wasn't a riot.
Protest.
That was a protest,
right? But hardly anybody showed up. So I don't know if he's lost.
I think they realize that the government's not fucking around when it comes to like the January 6th thing.
Yeah.
And that people that are found to have been a part of it are going to prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm a little surprised though that a lot of them haven't gotten more prison time.
I think it's more or less scared straight for those people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are first timers and they're just getting
caught up in the moment.
You're getting 6 months in jail and that will feel like 12 years because you've never been in those kinds of places before in your life. And it's going to, you don't even get the privacy of an actual bathroom. You have a toilet in your cell kind of thing.
Yeah. And
the person sleeping next to you doesn't like you because you look funny. You're one of those dumbasses on
your
TV.
Sweat smells, so stop it. Yeah, good times, man. Friggin', I don't know what's going to happen, but I am glued to the news, and I'm looking forward to whatever shows up.
I looked for video clips of the thing with Trump and to see if there was anything that I could watch online, and a lot of it was just footage of him walking in and people talking about what's going to happen. I was like, I don't really want to sit through all this. I just want to see him in court watching him sweat bullets.
He fought against having the TV cameras during. I'm a little surprised on that, and it might be that he doesn't want to look.
He doesn't want to look weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he would look at a table. Can you imagine him there over the course of a 3 or 6 month trial every day sitting at that table? Was he going to be making notes and drawing doodles like defendants do? Or is he just going to be...
He's just going to be there with a pouty face and be like, "Oh, fear. I'm super wealthy. I shouldn't be sitting here. Somebody else should be doing it for me."
Yeah, I can pay somebody. I'm surprised he hasn't thrown like Eric under the bus,
or Junior.
Well, Junior, I think he likes, but Eric, jury's still on that.
Isn't Eric like you should be wearing a hockey helmet kind of guy?
I think so.
I mean,
he looks like it, right?
I mean, the way that that SNL portrays him is he's just like a complete and total doofus and is completely unaware of a lot of things.
Yeah, always trying to earn Dad's love for sure.
Yeah, I feel for the poor guy though. I mean, I had a narcissistic father and was always trying to get him to show approval and stuff, and it never worked out the way I wanted.
Mm-hmm. I feel that. And it's funny, too, because his favorite kid, I think, is Ivanka, right? Or Ivana?
Because she's hot.
Ivanka?
In his words, not mine.
In a K or a V? Ivanka or Ivana? Which one? She's Ivanka.
Ivanka is his daughter.
Okay. So Ivanka is like his favorite, and she's been pretty quiet on this whole thing.
Of all the Trump kids, I think she's the smart one.
Yeah. Got to get that distance.
She's also probably not doing heroin or coke or whatever it is that Junior's doing.
Oh, I got to think coke, man. They look coked out. Okay. Big time. Yeah.
She probably smokes weed, but I don't see her doing hard drugs. I think she probably
maybe
has to
edibles. I don't picture her.
You know what?
Smoking.
I think you're right. I think it's edible. She probably has to have like a cookie or a brownie or something to, at the end of the day, just to unwind. Because I've been dealing with my brother.
Probably a lot of red wine. Guess red wine. Because Trump made me drink.
My daddy's a dumbass.
My daddy tried to pick me up in a limo. Anyway,
my daddy says I'm
allegedly.
I mean, he actually said on camera, if she wasn't my daughter, maybe we'd be dating.
No, that's weird. And that was back in the whole, what you call it?
That was like
Lolita Express time frame, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't even know. I just know that it was a video clip of she was like in her teens at the time. I think she looked young.
Yeah.
So. And his hair was like naturally kind of a brown color, not this orange thing he's got going on.
Orange gray thing. Oh man, just not an attractive dude.
He got the industrial strength fucking like Aquanet keeping his hair from blowing in the wind. And
I wonder if he has a makeup and hairstylist every morning or every time he shows up somewhere. I think does he have somebody that follows him?
Got to, man. I mean, either that or he just because every time I've seen him, he always has that like really fake tan look about his face, and except for like right around the eyes where he's got like the
where you put the thing so that you can spray on the tan.
Yeah, he looks like a trash panda, you know, a raccoon,
an orange trash panda.
Wouldn't that be like the red pandas? Because they have that look about them.
Oh, they do, huh? Yeah.
Except for those animals are smart.
All right. Well, from Trump to other severe stuff, have you heard about all the severe weather that's happening down south these days?
No, but I think it's the nature trying to flush all of its toxic peoples and whatnot.
Yeah, well, tons of tornadoes, tons of hail. There was some snowstorms. Maybe the man himself, Mayor Mike's not here today because there was a big snowstorm on I-90 near Billings, Montana. He couldn't get
90 was closed, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So he was stuck over in Montana way, trying to make his way back here. But just, snow like that in April and tons of tornadoes, tons of hailstorms, all kinds of crazy.
We had hail here.
We did. We had a crazy weekend of weather.
My roommate took photos of hailstones that looked like the size of acorns. They were huge.
Like, just put your drink out and get a few ice cubes, right?
I don't know if I would want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how clean those hailstones would be.
A little acid, not the right kind, right? But man, tornadoes tore through like Arkansas and caused a ton of damage. I think also in Kentucky and a few other places. And obviously you feel bad. Those aren't super wealthy communities where it usually happens, but I mean something like 30,000 structures or 39,000 structures or something got damaged.
I saw a video yesterday of before and after our tornado touchdown. It's like, here's a picture of this neighborhood before the tornado hit, and here's a picture afterwards, and it's just like it doesn't even look like the same spot.
No,
and I mean everything has been ripped up and tossed. Trees, bushes, houses, cars, everything.
Yeah, and I saw some pictures of the actual tornadoes with like cars flying down the highway, and in the background is just this massive friggin' tornado that's coming towards them, and I'm like, holy crap, man, that's huge.
Can you imagine the panic in the people driving away from the tornado?
You're like, nope, I'm out.
It's like, I'm not even going to stop for a potty break. I'm just going to keep going. I don't care if I'm sitting on my own shit.
Good thing I wore the Depends today.
No kidding, right?
Yeah, I did read an interesting article. They say by June, home insurance prices in Florida are going to go up about 40 to 50%.
I think we should rename that state to Florida Derp.
Florida Derp. Oh, derpy. But it's all because of the hurricanes and stuff, and insurance companies trying to pay out. They don't have the money to keep rebuilding friggin' Florida every year, right? Because of more and more hurricanes.
I'm trying to remember which comedian said it. It's like a comedian once said that there's like people that live in Tornado Alley. It's like, how hard is it to move? Your house has wheels.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't like around here. Before I bought any house I've ever owned, I've looked to see if it's in a floodplain. Right? What's the flooding chance? And never would I ever consider, because that's the big thing around here. It would probably be flooding, and earthquake. Right?
Earthquake is another thing that happens in the state. Yeah. Not as frequently as California, mind you, but it does happen.
Yeah, and none that have been super. There was that one. what, 20 years ago, 25 years
The
ago?
one in the early 2000s, no, the late 90s.
Yeah.
So it was, it was about 20-something years ago. I remember that. It was like 97, 96, thereabouts. And I was at my grandmother's house in North Seattle, up near Northgate Mall. And the one thing I remember is my mom had given my grandmother this little kangaroo statue made with real kangaroo fur.
Oh.
And I remember that thing jumping off the off the fire,
The mantle?
the mantle over the fireplace. It jumped off that, and then I saw the windows just kind of doing this kind of jello kind of thing. You know how jello kind of wobbles when you bump it or whatever? That's what the windows looked like.
Wow.
It was just like, it
crazy.
freaked me out so bad.
That's crazy. Yeah, there was a building in Tukwila not far from here, just down into Grady and Busta Wright. And I remember that building sort of like broke apart and big old cracks in it. But that was the one I saw. I think I was in the Safeway when that happened.
Yeah. There was another one in like 2001, 2002, thereabouts.
Yeah, maybe that was the one that was at the Safeway.
That one woke me up. I thought someone was shaking like someone walked up was doing this.
Yeah, shaking.
It's like,
wake up, Todd.
Wake up, dude. Wake up. I'm like, and all I remember is, what? And I look around,
Nice.
and I saw my whole room just...
You're like, what? That would be weird waking up to something like that because you don't know what the frick is going on. You don't know if you're dreaming.
It was just like that, and it wasn't as... The one in the late 90s was more rapid, kind of feel to it, but this one was more of a... And I'm like, fuck.
Not fun, man.
I don't know if I could ever live in California because I would literally have like a heart attack if I got to go through that again.
Because you're right on the fault line, right?
The fault line goes all the way up the west coast up to Vancouver.
Right. I'm surprised that we don't have as many. I mean, there's probably a lot of micro ones that we don't feel, right?
Well, the last big one we had in the state was out in the middle of Puget Sound, so I think we felt it, but it wasn't moving the buildings. I mean, you felt kind of a rumble.
Yeah.
That like that feeling that someone at the end of the couch just farted kind of feel, Barp.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the big one here. I don't know where you move because everywhere you go, there's going to be something, right?
There's going to be something.
Tornadoes, it's earthquakes. If it's not earthquakes, it's flooding, mudslides, solar flares, snowstorms.
I mean,
where do you go?
I don't. Like I said, I think flooding is probably going to be, or earthquakes, or a combination of the two.
Yeah,
is what we're going to get here in Washington, especially in Western Washington. I think everybody in the mountains and east of the mountains will be fine.
Yeah,
it's like the coast is going to be going to fall into the ocean. I think. If anything.
Maybe so. All right. Well, talking about the South, we had yet another school shooting in Nashville, man. Sad tale.
Are we talking about one more recent than the trans gunman?
No, that's the one I'm thinking of. Okay. The one at the Christian school there in Nashville. Thankfully, the police did respond. I think they got there in like 12 minutes or something like that.
Oh, wow.
They were able to get into the school. It wasn't like Uvalde where they held up and waited an extra 20 minutes
man.
or something.
He's got an AR-15. I don't want to go in there, man.
They went right in and took the shooter out, which is great. The bad news is, man, this person should have never been in there first place. One thing that, conservatives and gun rights advocates always talk about is having good guys with guns being on site. And apparently, I read a report that there are armed staff members at that school. I don't know if they're teachers or custodians or principals or what, but supposedly there was armed staff on site and it did no good, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do? I mean, I think we talked about gun control and stuff in an earlier episode, and we could rehash it, but at some point they need to get everybody locked in a room. Gun rights advocates, anti-gun folks, educators, middle-of-the-road people, diplomats, and figure this fucking thing out, right?
Right.
I don't know what the answer is. I have some ideas, but
Have you seen the video of, like, there's this thing you can get for classrooms that is essentially like it like folds into the wall, but then if there's a gunman, it folds out and becomes a barricade.
Oh.
So they can, if they manage to get the door open, they're like in a small little bulletproof room.
Oh, so they got a little bunker inside, a little panic room kind of
Well,
thing?
it's to keep so for example, if this was like the room, it would be in the corner, and so they'd pull it out and it would end up being like that. So
Like
the
a
door's
square.
right there.
Yeah.
So it would basically make a small room within the classroom that's where the gunman is in. He can't get through that barrier there.
And they lock themselves in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched an interesting movie with the lovely Jenna Ortega, who was the
Wednesday Addams, yeah.
And I'm trying to think of the movie. It'll come to me later. But she plays the victim of a school shooting where she was at the school and some of her friends and classmates were shot, and she was kind of living with the aftermath of it. And I think it's a great movie to watch and kind of...
When did it come out?
Within the last year or so. It might have been 2022.
Let's see.
Jenna Ortega, it was...
American Carnage?
that might...
Camilla?
No.
2022. Let's see here. Is this it? After a governor issues executive order to arrest children of undocumented... Nope, that's not the one.
No, that wouldn't be it.
Let's see.
I like that actor. She is pretty magnificent. I liked her a lot in Wednesday.
She was great in Wednesday.
If you haven't seen that, watch that show.
Well, she's in the next Scream movie.
Oh.
Scream
Might have to get back into Scream.
Scream 6 coming out sometime this year.
Still surprised.
Or maybe it's already out, I don't know.
Yeah.
You said it came out this year or last year?
Last year, I think.
Well, there's X. Let's see.
She was in X?
Yeah.
She was?
Uh-huh.
Who did she play in X?
Lorraine. She was in Studio 666 with Dave Grohl.
Oh, yeah, the Foo Fighters show.
The Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
The Fallout. Maybe that's
I
it.
think that might be it.
High schooler Vada
Yep,
navigates the emotional fallout she experiences in the wake of a school tragedy.
Yep, that's one.
It's on HBO Max.
Yes. I liked it. It was a good... it was a good coming of age in a time when in dealing with something that no kid should ever have to deal with.
Yeah.
So, good movie. If you get a chance, check it out. And she's really good in that as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, at some point, nobody wants to do anything. No, I mean, people want to do stuff, but there's this huge half of the population that just is like, no, it's bad guys. People don't kill, or guns don't kill people. People kill people, kind of a thing. But there's got to be limitations on.
You take away the guns, they're just going to kill people with knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't kill the same number of people with a knife
Right.
as you can with a gun.
Or a musket, right? From when the Second Amendment was written, they didn't have 30-round magazines that could shoot as fast as you could pull the trigger, right?
Or whatever they're called. Yeah, I have one or two friends who are like, it's not the guns, it's the people. It's like, except for if that person didn't have access to those guns,
Yeah.
the likelihood of them killing that many people is quite a bit less.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't say.
Yeah, and I'm all for gun ownership. I'm okay with 20-day waiting periods. I'm okay with not having high capacity magazines. I'm okay with lots of things, lots of restrictions. I'm okay with it.
I'm one of those people that in general I don't generally care about gun owners unless they're someone who shouldn't have a gun.
Yeah.
But
red flag laws. Why don't we have some of that kind of stuff? There's a lot of common sense stuff that we're not doing, that with the very barest minimum
because of the Second
effort.
Amendment. I think
I know.
And the thing is like every time you mention like, stricter rules about having guns or having a registry, they're like, well, isn't that what the Nazis did? They had a registry. They knew exactly who had guns and who didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, besides the people that, I don't know. I just, when it comes to that argument pisses me off to no end because, like, well,
I'm with you, man. It's, I don't mind. We restrict who can drive. Right?
Yeah,
you have to pass a test. You have to re-up your license.
There's a lot of things
every
we
2
have
years.
to have a license or like some sort of like written thing that says, okay, you have the ability to do this. Like voter registration. Come on.
I'm okay that you can own an AR-15 weapon, but I'm also okay that you have to take a proficiency test.
Yeah.
That shows you know how to handle it.
I think
I'm okay that you have to pass a 20-day background check or a 10-day background check.
I think it's fine that you own that kind of weapon as long as you don't. You only are able to use that weapon in specific locations, like at a gun range
and stuff like that. I'm also very okay with if you don't protect your weapon and you keep it out where your kid can get it or your brother can get it,
you're liable.
Whatever, and they take it and kill somebody, hey, now you're liable too because you didn't lock your weapon up.
Yes.
I am a gun owner and I keep all my guns in a safe, unloaded. Nobody knows the combo but me. And they're not going to get to them. So it's like, and I totally believe that if I leave my gun out and my kid takes it down the street and shoots somebody either on purpose or accidentally, then part of that's on me because I gave him the opportunity. So, and gun rights people, no, you can't do that to people, It just, I don't get it. There's common sense stuff, guys. There's middle of the road stuff we can do.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy that we're not doing it.
I agree. I think that, I think the last time I went to a gun range and shot an actual firearm was like 2011.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Is it something I want to do on a regular basis, or did it make me want to go and purchase my own? No. I mean, it was fun, and would I do it again? Probably, but again, I'm not going to ever own one myself because just the likelihood of a heated exchange going beyond just a heated exchange. I don't know. I think it's better that there's not guns anywhere near. So.
And that's why I don't carry, because I am a hothead. And if I get pissed enough and that is around me, I have a little bit of worry that
you might
take it too far. I might just pull it out or just show it or something, and that escalates everything and blah, blah, blah.
I definitely don't want to have a gun because I have what's the word I'm looking for? A propensity to like get heated, and I don't need to have that as a possibility.
Yeah.
Of going too far and then somebody gets hurt, and I mean I feel bad enough as it is if I upset somebody, let alone hurt them. So I mean, just imagine no,
I'm with you, man. I'm with you, and it's good that those limitations. A lot of people, especially young men, don't realize that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I think certain people. I mean, if you have the capacity of getting angry over the smallest things, I think that's probably a good idea. You don't own a gun.
Yeah. If you have a hard time controlling anger issues, rage, that kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
I think the only time I've ever owned anything considered, I don't think it was considered a firearm. It was a pellet gun. I had a pellet gun. Me and a friend were out in the woods shooting, and then he just kind of half, just kind of like pop. like that. Just put it up, aimed it up at an angle, and just shot something. And then we heard this tiny little voice screaming as it came falling through the tree.
No.
And it was a squirrel. He had shot a squirrel in the head, just kind of haphazardly.
Accidentally.
Just shot up, and then we heard it coming down through the tree, screaming because it got shot in the head.
Yeah. God, what a horrible sound that would have been.
Oh, dude, it was terrifying. I said, you know what? You can have that gun. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. Never been one to want to hunt. I understand the need for it. I understand people have this tradition, and I know most of the hunters I know harvest the entire animal and they treat it with as much respect as they can. I've just never had the desire to go out and actually kill something. Yes, I eat meat. Yes, I know where the meat comes from. Yes, I go to the grocery store. Yes, I quit eating beef because the way they treat cows sucks. No, I haven't quit eating chicken because chickens are probably treated the same way.
I eat very little red meat, but I am not doing it because of any kind of like poor animals. No, I don't care. I mean, I look at it like this. These animals are being raised for food. It's not like, they have anything else going on in their life. They are food.
Yeah.
But I get it. I understand it. That's not me, you know.
Yeah, I have no desire to go out and clean an animal and skin it and all that stuff. And basically to shoot it. I don't have any desire. And I know somebody is willing to do it at a slaughterhouse. More power to them. Yeah. I'm going to enjoy that, chicken breast later, but it's not for me.
Yeah, I can't do that. I mean, oh man, when it comes to like militant vegans, those people are like, fine, you do what you want. I look at them the same way I do, the Baptists who stand in the corner with the signs that say God hates figs.
Yeah.
You're not gonna change my mind because you believe so strongly.
What's funny is they're not changing anybody's mind out there, but I don't know if they think there's a sense that God is hearing them and it's all for show or whatever. But they're not changing anybody's mind.
They're doing it because they think that if they convert people, that's gonna make them look good in their Creator's eyes. And I think that is the.
And they're not converting anyone, right? They're not.
The ones that do convert are probably already thinking about converting, or were like easily swayed over,
right?
Just
And if you're swayed by some guy with a sign and a megaphone standing on a street corner screaming his lungs out, then you deserve whatever the conversion is.
Yeah.
More power to you. Happy life, man. Yeah.
I think that
it's nuts. Have you heard about astronauts? They picked the next astronauts to go around the moon. Man, this is exciting, I guess.
What I would love to see when we get back to the moon is I would love for them to, even if it's radio controlled, little buggies with cameras, I want them to map the entire moon. I want to see everything up there.
All like the craters and everything.
Yeah, just fucking everything. I would like to see like a live footage of the dark side of the moon so we could see and show all the people that there's alien bases on the backside. And no, there isn't. It's just nothing back there.
Well, these guys are going to slingshot, to use a Star Trek reference, right? They're going to slingshot around the backside of the moon, I think. And they're going to go way out into outer space and come around the moon, and it's going to be, they don't know yet, but there's going to be a certain amount of space between them and the moon as they go around. But I think what they're doing, they're not landing this mission. I think they're dropping stuff off for later missions, I think is what's happening. So these guys aren't going to walk on the moon yet, but I think they're setting up to put a base there or something, right?
Yeah. The thing I heard is they're going to be putting something in orbit around the moon to help with the manned trip to Mars.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the first artificial moon satellite that's going up there.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's what I remember anyway. I could be remembering incorrectly.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay.
But,
well, this is going to be, so there's 3 Americans and a Canadian that was picked. Go Canada. But it's
Take off, eh?
what's it all about?
I'm gonna go for a jog around the moon, eh?
This is going to be the first Canadian to actually go into outer space, which is just enough outside of, I think, the Earth's gravitational pull or whatever.
Shatner is Canadian. He was in space.
Yeah, you're right. But first in our timeline to actually...
First Canadian astronaut, not first Canadian asshole.
No, well... Come on, Shat. Shatner even said that he's kind of getting towards the end of his life or something, right?
I mean, he's like 96.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Doesn't have that much time left, but I always thought Shat would live forever.
I mean, his work will definitely live forever.
That's true.
Whether you like it or not.
That's true.
I mean, have you listened to his music? I mean, can you really call it music? I mean, it's not really his music.
It's like
he did covers of other people's music.
It's like beat poetry over music, right?
He not even beat poetry. It's like him, like
badly.
He's just
mouthing the word.
He's doing a monologue over music, is what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the last one I heard a clip of, and I was like, this is god awful. He did an album of covers of heavy metal. You know, he did his version of Crazy Train, and then what was the other one?
Was it him or was it Pat Boone?
Pat Boone did an album
too, right?
He did a cover album back in the 90s, and
he got in a lot of trouble, right?
No, he and Ozzy were actual neighbors. That's how he got the approval to do it. Is at least Ozzy was the first person to say yes, go ahead. But then because Ozzy said yes, everybody else was like, well, if Ozzy said yes, we got to do it. We got to say yes.
The Prince of Darkness said yes.
In case if you guys haven't seen it, do a search for the Osbournes TV show. It was a reality show from the early mid 90s.
Was it mid 90s?
Was
it that early?
It was like mid late 90s, I think.
Okay.
So it was like 96, 97.
Okay.
So like Jack and Kelly were like 12 and 13.
Oh wow.
So they were young.
Okay.
And so yeah, the theme music for that show was Pat Boone's version of
Crazy Train.
Of Crazy Train.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I didn't watch the show very much.
But that's how it goes. Millions of people. Yeah. I mean, it was like, when I first heard, I was like, that's got to be Richard Cheese. Because are you familiar with Richard Cheese?
No.
He does like lounge music, but a lot of his stuff is like covers.
Oh, hence the cheese, right?
Yeah, Richard Cheese, and he's
kind of making fun of it, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a lounge version of like popular songs. He's done like Baby Got Back, and he's done like Rebel Yell.
Version?
Yeah, in the lounge, and when he did this other song that I'm going to mention, he did it with his real name, not his moniker Richard Cheese. But he's the one who did the Star Wars Cantina, like at the Star Wars Cantina.
Oh, I remember that. In the Copacabana
cover, yeah. And Barry Manilow sued him over that because.
No, come on, Barry.
This is also, I think, before the like parody law became a thing.
Yeah. Barry Manilow always looked fake to me, like a wax figure kind of thing. But
he does strike me as the kind of guy that you probably see in Vegas, just kind of hanging out.
He'd be hanging out with Siegfried and Roy, right? They kind of all look alike.
Yeah.
Let me play with your tanker. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting. I'm glad NASA's going back. The space shuttles were retired, so I don't know what the frick they're flying up there.
They're either using Bezos or
are
Elon.
they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the two.
Kind of hope it's Bezos.
I think it's Bezos.
I kind of wish it would be Bezos rather than Musk. I'm not a big Musk fan. I'm not an Amazon fan either, but
I mean,
which one I hate least?
I mean, I give money to Amazon every month, but
yeah, a lot of money.
But But that's just for like access to movies and TV shows and stuff. And that's, I sometimes will use the Prime for like free delivery and stuff, but otherwise I generally don't care. So
yeah. All right. Well, any other news that you came across this week, Todd?
Not really, but I don't generally pay that close attention to the news.
Yeah.
The only news that I hear about is anything that comes across my For You page on TikTok or my feed, whatever you want to call it, on other platforms.
Yeah.
But
I'm all caught up on the Mandalorian. That was a good episode, the last one.
The one before yesterday's was amazing. In fact,
what was yesterday's?
Yesterday is the one that had Jack Black and Lizzo.
Oh no, I saw the Pirates one.
That's last week's.
Okay. So there's I got to watch another one maybe.
Well, it came out today.
Okay.
Technically last night at midnight is when I watched it, but it was out.
So we'll probably we watch it as a family, so we'll probably watch it tomorrow night.
But yeah, it has Jack Black, Lizzo, and crazy. Christopher Lloyd is also on it.
Christopher Lloyd. I love me some Doc. But the Pirates one was great. Got a lot of good action. I was like, oh, come on. Put together a Mandalorian army and go kick some pirate butt. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. And I can show you. There's a video. Someone had taken clips of that and then put the theme music to the A-Team.
No, it's perfect.
Where is it?
Yeah.
I'll play it for you.
Yeah. I love when Mando gets the team back together and they all go down and kick ass because, man, and that was cool because they all dropped. They even have the font.
Yeah.
The A-Team font, which is perfect.
Guys, I will post it to the Facebook page.
Do that.
And I'll post that to the Facebook page.
Yeah, man, but they came in on the ship and then, like, they had two groups of Mandalorians drop down with their jetpack.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool.
As they're jumping down.
And then I loved when the 4 or 5 Mandalorians kind of got stuck between two. They got trapped in that area.
Stuck between some like a heavy gunner and like another thing,
and then the big Mandalorian guy that's got like the chain laser gun comes out and just takes care of business. It was great.
Actually, I think Katie Sackhoff's character flies by and like takes out one of them, and then he because he was pinned down, he then was able to take out the other guys.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
But yeah, he has like this massive chain gun like thing. It's this massive gun that has a chain clip to it from his backpack, which is also his jetpack. Yeah. So he's just as.
Yeah. Great episode. I'm looking forward to the next one. Mandalorian every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday.
On the Disney Pluses?
Wednesday at midnight. So Tuesday at midnight, you can watch it if you're up and about. 12 o'clock midnight is when it's available.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, any other shows that you've discovered, jumped into, anything like that?
I actually recently started rewatching Bones.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been watching that throughout the day, and then when it comes time to like catch up on like the network shows that I'm recording on my computer, my DVR, then I'll like
jump on that. Yeah, I discovered a show called Evil. I think it was on CBS for a few seasons.
It was first season was on CBS, and then it moved to Paramount Plus.
Okay, I've been watching it on Paramount Plus. I'm about halfway into the first season. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of an X-File-y.
It's like if X-Files was solely about Catholicism and evil shit. Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, and I mean it's got a few. I don't know. I felt like some of the stuff was like Charmed. You know, it's like freaking just tell this guy. The misunderstandings and I'm just not going to tell him this important piece of information because it'll advance the storyline
too quickly.
Better. It's like, but it is good.
Leland is like
he is awesome.
He is the smarmiest of.
Yeah.
He's just like. He's like one part used car salesman and like one part fucking like pedophile. He's just really creepy. And even when he's being nice, you feel like there's an ulterior motive to this guy.
Yeah, I just got to the scene where he's trying to teach that younger male that kind of looks like him, how to be an 8chan asshole. Right, how to incel and get back at the girls that treated him wrong and all that stuff. So, I'm enjoying it. It's kind of my my personal show. Nobody else in the house is watching it. With
me, yeah, that's not something you want to watch with your child.
No, not her. But sometimes the wife and I will get hooked on it.
Depending on what kind of stuff she likes to watch, she might dig it. I mean, it's one of those shows that I've it's like, oh, this is a good show, and I've told people, but I was like, I'm not watching anything with that, with oh no, it wasn't Evil that I was talking about. That one was what was the one about Satan? It's like a buddy
Lucifer?
cop. Lucifer. Yeah. That was a great show too. Yeah, and he's like, I'm not watching anything with Lucifer as the name of the show. It's like, it's not what you think. It's a buddy cop show with a supernatural element to it. Yeah. That's essentially what that show was.
Yeah, but Evil's got the cat that played Luke Cage in the Netflix.
He was at SummerCon last year.
Oh, was he really? He seems like a decent dude.
He's a lot taller than I thought he'd be. I mean, I legit thought he would be shorter.
He looked bigger in Luke Cage, and I know that they had to make him look big because Luke Cage is a big dude than he does on this show, but he still looks like a pretty good sized dude.
Yeah.
And Leland, I think, was on Lost for a while. It's been years since I watched Lost, and I never did finish it. Watched the first.
I recognize like 2 or 3 people. You probably haven't seen him yet, but one of the not the Tom Hanks, but the other guy from Bosom Buddies.
Oh, Peter Scolari?
Scolari was on there. He was one of the priests.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen him yet.
No, I think he shows up in like season 2 or 3.
I recognize the Monsignor. That's almost in every episode, kind of gives them their assignments. I don't know what I recognize him from, but I think he's a character actor that's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah. I'm trying to think, they've also had a few other guest stars that I
think it doesn't happen until season 2, but the guy who was Luke Cage, and I'm drawing a blank on his actual name right now, but his character gets approached by they're not the Illuminati, they're but something similar, but it's like the Catholic Church's version of like Secret Service.
The Swiss Guard.
Not those guys. These are like actually probably closer to like Men in Black types.
Okay.
So like they're secret organization. Nobody knows who they are.
Okay.
And he doesn't have a name.
Yeah. Yeah. The show's all about demonology and finding demons. I like it because the main character, one's a wannabe priest that looks for the religious supernatural angle.
He's studying to be a priest.
Yeah, and the his partner and their tech guy are both kind of skeptics and are always looking for an out.
She was Catholic, but she kind of fell off.
Yeah,
from the
lapsed Catholic. But they both kind of are like, oh man, there's something I can't explain there, but they're scientists and all that stuff. So there's a good. It's like it's X-Files. I mean, Mulder was always the believer, and Scully was the scientist.
It has an X-Files feel to it for sure.
Without all the aliens,
it's way spookier than X-Files. Though.
Yeah,
with all the demons and shit showing up in the middle of the night, and the guy's trying to sleep, and that's there was one episode that I actually didn't watch because I saw the next week on Evil, and I saw that clip. I was like, I don't need to see that episode.
Oh, no.
I don't need to see that episode. And it was season 1's Halloween episode. I just skipped it altogether.
Yeah, creepy little girl in that one.
Yeah. I think that was the beginning of like the little girl like going online to play like a VR game that was a little too
good,
too real for my liking.
Yeah. All right, we'll check it out. Evil. It's on 3 episodes on Paramount Plus right now. I don't know if they're making any new ones, but
it's season 4's coming out soon.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, I've been enjoying it.
I'm curious as to how you feel as it gets further along because it's. I mean, it doesn't really change that much. You definitely see a difference between when it was on CBS and when it's on Paramount Plus.
You said first season CBS, Paramount Plus. They're able to do a little more, right?
Yeah, there's not so much as censorship on words that are being used.
Okay.
So there's a lot more cursing that happens in the later seasons.
I just got back to where one of the main characters, their spouse, comes back from mountain climbing. So
yeah, that's the lead female character. Her husband. Yeah. Oh man, and I don't want to give anything away because I this is a great show, but lots of behind the scenes stuff is happening with those people, and it's gonna slowly kind of unfold as the show progresses, and you're gonna be like,
nice,
oh, fuck, really? Yeah,
nice. All right, well, anything else that you can think of?
As far as
for this week, I got a positive note we could end on.
Oh, yeah.
I recently donated. The wife and I sort of collected toys that and gifts that were given to our daughter that she didn't want and stuff that we bought. And one year we were going to adopt a family for Christmas, and we bought a bunch of toys and stuff, and we never made it down. I think we missed the deadline or something. So we had a bunch of stuff laying around. There's an organization right here in beautiful Renton called Birthday Wishes, and I think it's birthdaywishes.org. And what these folks do is they put on birthday parties and hand out gifts to kids, homeless kids, that can't afford or can't have a birthday party. So they put on a birthday party for kids. So we donated a bunch of toys and stuff to them, some office supplies and some other stuff that we had lying around. But if you guys have something in the Seattle area that you're looking to donate, it's a great organization, helps out kids. Like I said, they're not real huge, I don't think, but like I said, right up in the Highlands, up by the Safeway there, is their offices. But I think
up on 4th?
Yeah, right off of 4th. Birthdaywishes.org, I think, is what it is.
4th and Union, right?
Is that Union right there? I think it's past Union, but not quite the Goodwill, but not just past the Safeway. So kind of more where the Jack in the Box is. Joann Fabric, right behind Joann Fabrics, if you know where that's at.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll find it. It's online. Check them out. Great organization.
Goodwill. I mean, Goodwill's up on Sunset.
Was it Sunset? Yes, Sunset. Sorry, not 4th. Sunset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the Albertsons over by Starbucks. Is that what you're talking about? In big lots and...
No, I'm sorry. I had the wrong side. It's over, like you said, on Sunset. So the Safeway, you pass the Safeway, there's Joann's Fabrics on the right.
The old Safeway.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that
there's
Safeway's
a Jack
there.
in the Box right there.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about now. I was thinking of the bigger Safeway on 4th Avenue, which is the other side of the Highlands.
Nope.
That's the Safeway that smells like an old deep fryer, right?
I haven't been into that one. So.
Oh my god! The last time when I was 6 months ago, when I was still doing like DoorDash, I'd go there to do some shopping for somebody, and the first thing I smelled when I walked in the door was this deep fryer that hasn't been changed in months. It reeked in there like a grease trap.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Todd, you got anything else?
Be excellent to each other.
Yes, be excellent to each other. All right, for this week, episode 16 is in the books for Cousin Todd on the big board. I am the other guy, Charles, and Mike, wherever you are, we love you, we miss you. We're going to look forward to you coming back, and we'll see you next week.
Tune in for this. Oh, yeah, and go to our website and subscribe so you can get the bonus material that we're going to be recording.
Forget about that.
Yeah.
Do it.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you think this episode is worth $1 or $5, the boys would love to have it. Please go to ourtownpod.store for merch or to donate now. For less than a cup of coffee, you can also join the website in the member-only area for exclusive bonus content, vlogs, and more. It's just $3 a month or $30 a year. Thank you for listening to this production of Our Town Podcast Extraordinaire.